The Diary of a Certified Psychopath. Off the crank. At an utter loose end, on a broadly housebound day, hence in unbiased honour of the eternal debate revolving, literally, around the physical authenticity of our ever more prolific choice in competing cycling simulators, coupled with a sense of intrigue and heartfelt admiration for one of my long-term Strava associates, who kindly requested I investigate some algorithmic anomalies, I seized the fleeting moment to conduct a quick and not too dirty comparison between two of this volatile market's most attractive options. First, the current leader and virtual veteran Zwift, which by this coming autumn will have celebrated a decade of putting the fun back into fitness, and entertaining active role players with a host of rich rewards reaped from priceless experience and salty tears of toil, for adorning their proud avatars with stylish kits, sleek aero skins, caps, helmets, shades and novelty socks, alongside a shed-load of upgrades for wheeled weapons beyond a Fortnite fanatic's wildest fantasies. And second, the latest pixelated pretender to this illustrious crown, MyWhoosh. In brief, another open-world synergy of semi-fictional routes and courses set within true geographical locations, all rendered from fully animated 3D environments that impart arguably greater levels of realism than those featured by Zwift, but lack their rivals' alluring visual effects, vibrant colours, uniquely appealing hand-drawn artwork, and an ever-expanding array of gamer-friendly elements. Power was measured using my year-old SRM X-Power platform pedals, still the only flat earther's solution with integrated strain gauges, and which were seamlessly swapped between my Stages SB20 and ever-faithful Magic Carpet, and configured to operate in dual-sided mode. Zwift BLE was enabled for its namesake's indoor test to ensure Bluetooth readings remained accurate, with the pedals being linked and recalibrated prior to all 3 rides. The routes chosen for each separate run were all circuit-based, with dimensions and topography as closely matched as possible, and evenly distributed elevation over their respective distances, with only a single kilometre's discrepancy between the shortest and longest, and a 15-metre overall height difference. Conditions were as neutral as could be realistically expected along Sussex's weather-worn south coast, approaching the peak of a typically temperate British summer, and true to blustery form, I was forced to contend with a stiff easterly breeze, reported by our climate prophets to be travelling at 12 miles per hour, and physically borne out by every one of St. Beaufort's pole-bound purveyors of the elemental present, in fully unfurled and flappy fashion. This invisible resistance that neither Zwift nor MyWhoosh currently attempts to simulate within their windless wonderlands might have caused me to instinctively push a little harder in segments when I was battling its turbulent onslaughts head-on, though I was mindful to ease off throughout west and northbound intervals when each gust effectively simulated a draft boost, to ensure the effort's average figure aligned with those of the 2 virtual runs, for which my output was more consistently applied, though in all cases a little emphasis was added during positive inclines and combined with softly pedalled descents. The 3 average figures remained within a range of 10 watts, which is as much as could be rationally expected from a mortal with no Ant+ simulator, though my heart rate was significantly elevated whilst negotiating the tighter turns around my hometown's ill-defined perimeter, which was likely a consequence of extreme stress at the prospect of not getting an uninterrupted run during liquid lunch hour traffic. The enclosed bar chart should account for itself, though in succinct summary, evidence firmly suggests that Zwift's contentious world of Newton-defying laws remains the most flattering for those reclusive cave-dwellers, though only by a narrow margin. One 11-kilometre lap of Watopia's flat route yielded an average speed of just 1 km per hour or 3% faster than MyWhoosh's marginally shorter but similarly level San Francisco street circuit, though both provide the indoor cyclist a substantial velocity boost of roughly 20% or 6 rounded kilometers per hour when compared to harsh reality. The nominal resistance level for 0% topography appears extremely close between both simulators, whilst any variances proportionally increase and converge as gradients respectively rise and fall, causing gravity to have a greater or lesser impact upon velocity than drag across hilly or level terrain. The sharper the upward slope, the more closely aligned performance becomes in our factual and fictional domains. For the gradient results, the individual segments, together with their annotated power outputs, were only sampled from short positive and negative inclines, which in each case were either equal or less than 200 meters and took 30 or fewer seconds to complete. Thus, these values might not be a definitive representation of the increased resistance and relative speed adjustments that either factual conditions or each simulator's physics model imposes upon the rider whilst ascending or descending longer hills of the same steepness. Nonetheless, they have been included for reference, and will be amended once I have the chance to test some lengthier real-life climbs.